Hello, welcome back to the channel. In today's review video, I will be covering The Halloween Oracle by Stacey Demarco. Okay, so Demarco, spelled D-E-M-A-R-C-O. It's a Blue Angel published deck. Let's see. It is glossy cards. So you can kind of see from the shine, it's a gloss finish. Average size, I would say maybe, if anything, maybe it feels just a tad longer this way than some of my other decks, but overall pretty average size. And of course, as always, you can shuffle up and down versus holding it this way if that's easier for you. So this is the back of the cards. The card quality is pretty good. It bends a little, but not bad at all. The artwork, as you would imagine, mostly reflects Halloween themed images. So I've taken out these three cards, which I will read from the guidebook. Okay, so I'm going to be doing these three right here: invisibility, authenticity, and the Skull of Stars, infinite possibilities. Okay, so I'll be reading those three from the book. Speaking of the book, this is what comes with your cards. So it's good quality. It's not the best quality book I've ever seen. As far as the pages, it's not bad quality at all. It's still good quality. It's just not top of the line as far as guidebooks go, but really it doesn't matter. The information in here is, I find, very interesting. So when we open the book, it says, "This deck is dedicated to all those who still love to play on Hallows Eve. May the jack-o'-lanterns burn brightly for you." It's a little, just put that down a little bit so it's not just my chin. Okay, table of contents. Trick or treat, truth or dare, a little about the scariest night of the year. So that gives you this cool image here in the front of the book. And then you get an introduction. It tells you a little bit about Halloween. I'm not going to read the entire thing because it is like 3 pages. I will read the parts that I highlighted because, yes, I do highlight. I don't know if you can notice, but I do like to use highlighter. For myself, a lot of times, most of the time anyway, in guidebooks, I don't necessarily resonate with everything it says for card meanings, or not everything in the introduction or throughout the book is something I necessarily want to re-reference. So the stuff that I want, I know for sure to be able to find quickly, I highlight. I know some people cringe, actually cringe, when they see a pen or a highlighter go near a book, but I love doing that. So it says Halloween or All Hallows Eve was traditionally a Celtic winter festival called Samhain, pronounced Samhain, which marked the beginning of the colder season and the process whereby the earth begins to retreat and die in quotation. That's why the central theme of this holiday is essentially death. But looked at from a more positive perspective, it can also be seen as the quiet beginning of life. Death is a part of life and the step before renewal. Having a celebration about death that treats it lightly and with laughter helps us see that there's little to fear. By carving pumpkins, we scare away the nasty spirits, while also acknowledging the darkness too. By delving into midnight, we see the dawn more clearly. Halloween is also traditionally thought to be the time when the walls between the spirit world and our physical world are at their thinnest. This gives us a good opportunity to honor our friends and ancestors who have passed over in a fun and loving way. I always set an extra plate at the table at Halloween dinner for those who have passed, and we all talk about them and relive wonderful stories about them. I love that. Unfortunately for me, most of my family has passed, and I miss them, of course, at holidays and things like that. So I love the idea of setting the extra plate and talking with someone who's at the dinner with you about, the people that you loved who have passed. I love that idea. Okay. We celebrate their lives with laughter and food and merriment. It certainly isn't a time for sadness, but a time to celebrate life wholeheartedly. I love that. No matter when you choose to celebrate this daring, deathly festival, enjoy yourself and know that some of the rituals and symbols of the scariest of all nights are very old. Thousands of people before you, for thousands of years, have carried the torches at night under the moon, got a fright in the local burial grounds, played tricks on their friends, and asked for the spirits for a glimpse of their future. So from there, you get the Halloween 3-card spread, the Jack-o'-lantern divination. So it shows you, where to put the cards 1, 2, 3, and what each place represents. It gives you a page dedicating your cards, so how to dedicate your cards. Then you get this lovely image, which I think is amazing. So that's something I really do like about this guidebook. Like I said, the quality is nice. It's just the pages are not quite as nice as some of the other guidebooks. But that being said, this is a very, very interesting deck and a very interesting guidebook. So it goes right then into the meanings of the cards. So there's not a lot. Like some guidebooks, it covers quite a lot before the meanings. But that's okay with me. I still think this is a worthwhile deck. I quite enjoy it. So first card we're going to read the guidebook with is Skull of Stars. And there are no numbers on these cards, but they are in alphabetical order. So it says, why think so small when galaxies spin within? Realize that you are made of the stuff of stars, and infinite possibility begins. The skull brings us back to the fact that we are all made of the stuff of stars, yet many of us think so small. We are each born with a blank canvas to paint upon, and we are indeed an open sky of possibilities. It is easy to feel small in a world that is so busy and impersonal, and seemingly self-absorbed. We can at times feel lost and unclear about our direction and lose sight of our place in the cosmos. The Skull of Stars reminds us that we are only limited by our own imagination and boundaries. If we can dream it, it is possible. This card indicates that you need to think bigger and more broadly about your future and what you would like to achieve. Perhaps there are false beliefs, often old, that no longer serve you as you grow and change. Sometimes these beliefs may not even be yours. They may have been imparted to you by your parents or the wider community, yet feel rather real to you. You need to endeavor with all of your heart and soul to live the life you want and honor your own wishes and truth. Well, okay, so next we have the Invisibility Authenticity card. Let me get rid of the rest of these for now. Okay, so Invisibility. It says, you know that feeling you sometimes have that someone is watching you? You cannot see them, yet you have a distinct feeling that someone is there. All the hairs are on the back of your neck standing up. You think you see something in the corner of your eye, but when you turn, there is nothing to be seen but empty air. This is the power of invisibility, the indirect fear and covert threat of having to fight something that we cannot see. Humans have a strong visual sense, so it is no wonder that we are uneasy about things we cannot see. When we consider that some animals are camouflaged so well by their coats or behavior that sometimes, even if we are looking straight at them, they are hard to see within their environment. That is invisibility. It isn't much of a far-fetched concept. In many cultures, the idea of beings who could watch us undetected were and still are common. Angels, nature, spirits, and so on. Later, I don't know why I just said it like that, later in literature and then in movies, invisibility becomes a common power, and we now have fictional superheroes that are invisible even in cloaks of invisibility. The concept of invisibility is a double-edged sword. Whilst it is a powerful tool to be able to gain information or assist whilst no one sees, individuals using it are privy to information that may not be meant for them, and it may be taken out of context or unethically used. It is a power of manipulation and easily abused. The idea of hiding away and not being seen is also a big part of the dark side of this concept. We are all born to shine our light into the world and take our roles. Hiding our talents, not expressing our true selves, stealing others' ideas or work, and being someone else rather than your authentic self are all aspects to consider should this card appear in your reading. Ooh, so pretty. Love that. Night Song. Hidden Tokens. Oh, sorry, Hidden Talents. You know, this is what happens when you have next to no sleep. Yeah, between my husband's schedule and my dogs, don't get as much sleep as I really would love to. Eternal love. Love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. Interesting with the cardinal. Do you believe this is the cardinal, correct? Seems to be. You know, the cardinal being kind of known for symbolizing past loved ones showing up to say hello and let you know that they're safe and things. It's interesting that this would come up with that. So let's see, eternal love. It says, when the body leaves us and our souls are above, our possessions no longer, nothing remains but the intertwining of love. All of us are the product of millennia of love. Our parents, 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 our ancestors by blood and ritual all have in some way created the DNA that weaves throughout our body. Love, in fact, powers life and death. When most of us first encounter death in our lives, we experience grieving too, and in some way feeling could be described as an absence of love and the absence of that person or being. But the kind of love that is often shared between family members, friends, and lovers separated only by physical death is the kind that poets wax lyrical about, that is truly eternal and transcends death. Should you choose this card, you are being reminded that love is the most powerful force in the universe. It is more powerful than death itself. Love lingers, it leaves its own legacy, and we should be aware of this every day that we live. For those that are ready for and desiring of a partner, it also indicates a significant love is close at hand and ready to open to a new experience, and for you to be open to a new experience. So that's from the guidebook. Now I'll just show you the rest of the cards. We have the lamp, remembrance. Now, isn't that something? Don't you think that's strange? Oh my goodness, look at this. And I never say, oh my goodness, but I'm trying to be polite for this channel. But look at that. Oh, that's not the one. Where were we just looking at? We were just looking at the cardinal. I'm not really sure. I got them kind of all over the place. But anyway, oh, here we are. I just think it's so odd that we got the cardinal, which, like I said, at least to me, kind of makes me think of past loved ones kind of visiting with you. And then this, the eternal love card, talking about how love transcends death. And now getting the remembrance card, which is so funny to me. In this one, I'm actually going to go ahead and read from the book, even though I thought I was done with that, because I want you to hear about the story of like the lantern, the jack-o'-lantern in the window. So, let me find it. Is it under the lamp or lamp? I guess it's under lamp. Yes, okay. And it's such a beautiful card. I just love that card. So it says, I light a candle within a lamp for you, a single flame in the darkness that reflects my heart so true. While it is a tradition to carve a jack-o'-lantern to scare away the spirits, it was an older tradition still to light a candle or lamp on Halloween night and leave it at the window as a loving guide home for those who have passed. Very interesting. And the veil, even though the veil card says the future, I think it's interesting because we're talking about past loved ones visiting with us or letting us know that they're safe and they're still with us. And the veil, we're talking about Halloween and how that's the day where the veil between our past loved ones and our own, world, our own reality, our own existence is thinnest. So I think it just keeps tying into that theme, which is really cool. Both as a symbol of remembrance and also as a kind of leaving the lights on for those who may wish to come home. The lamp was left to illuminate the night and perhaps even the sadness that was felt because of the passing. I love that. That's why I wanted to read this to you. This card reminds us that it is a positive thing to remember those who have passed by celebrating their life rather than mourning their death. Interesting. Now we got the mummy card. Change. This card reminds us, for those whom we do not have an easy relationship or even those who we do not like, leave us with valuable lessons. Sometimes we learn more from our nemesis than we do from our friends, and so the darkness can illuminate our strength and our true value so that we can live them more clearly and fully. I love that. Okay. We have dawn, the light after darkness. Ancestors, the love and legacy of our DNA. Scrying, intuition, one of my favorite cards. I love these cards, like with the old-fashioned kind of candles. Graveyard, unnecessary fear. Apple, risk and reward. Is that blood coming from that apple? Is it juice? Is it poison? Is it a magical elixir? I mean, that's what I like about these cards as well. It leaves a lot of room for interpretation. Skull of flowers, creating through the ashes. Death, the eternal cycle begins here. Lady de los Muertos, I know I'm pronouncing this wrong and I apologize for that. Acceptance and equality. I'm going to have to Google how to actually pronounce that correctly. Hearth, happiness in our hearts and homes. Trick or treat, mischief and play. The underworld, where all things pause and begin again. I love that. Such a great deck. This is one of my favorite cards. Skull of darkness, blind spots. I just love, once again, the old-fashioned candle. Ghost, regret. So that's interesting. Blind spots and regret coming together, meaning be careful of, like, you know, sometimes things sneak up on us. So maybe just keep an eye out a little more carefully, because blind spots can lead to, yeah, regret. So basically just keep your eyes open. Sometimes remember, like, not everything is always as it seems. Winter, the sacredness of pausing. Black cat, fortune meets opportunity. This, like, is one of my absolute favorites. I love the old-fashioned books and the candles, and of course this beautiful cat. And I want to say something really quick about black cats, because they get this bad reputation as being bad luck, which is ridiculous. So, you know, basically people think if a black cat crosses your path, it means bad luck. How about if in actuality that black cat is there to warn you that there's bad luck up ahead, that you need to turn around, that you need to do something differently? Maybe it's actually a guide. Maybe it's actually there to help. And the fact that it gets such a bad reputation and then sometimes such bad treatment is really sad. So just maybe keep that in mind. Midnight, the most magical hour of all. Zombie, control. Spider, community and web networking. Web weaving, so networking basically is what I'm taking that as. Okay, so that is the deck. Thank you so much for joining me for this review. Oh, we have the witch card. Very beautiful. I love that card. Okay, so we're going to leave it on that. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your time. Until next time, take care and much love.